Crypto addiction, how I lost $62,000. Goodness me.
As you can see in my previous video, I had bought a van and then I sold the van. I had about $50,000 April of this year, 2024. So
Wow.
I decided to put it into crypto. I saw that Bitcoin had gone all the way up to a new all-time high at about 73K. And it started to cool off a bit. I think it went down to about 63K. So I started to get interested into crypto again. And ironically, in 2021 or 2, I had gotten into crypto with like $4,000. I was in an exchange called Voyager that just went totally underwater, bankrupt. And I had been getting money back from them for a few years.
Behind me is
Think
Trafalgar
about
Square,
that,
a
man.
place-
That's like, shush, Greg Sucker. Let's skip him. Think about that, though. How it is fairly easy for you to lose your money, but I'm telling you, if you're wise, you could double. You're looking at someone who's done it. Let's get back to the video.
Is pretty fitting. Every
All right.
dollars. I was in an exchange called Voyager that just went totally underwater, bankrupt, and I had been getting money back from them for a few years. So that was my first experience with crypto, losing a bunch of money with a bullshit exchange, getting in at the top. And this time I wanted to not get in at the top, but I kind of did that anyways, because that's kind of how the story goes, is that I got in April, and I didn't get into Bitcoin. I got into a bunch of altcoins. You know, I was in Avalanche, ICP, Render. I could name a few more, but slightly
Doge?
more speculative,
Shiba?
not speculative, but riskier coins that when Bitcoin dumps, these coins just go into the gutter. And that's basically what happened from April to now. Obviously now Bitcoin
When
is
was this filmed?
just crossed over $100,000 and things are going pretty parabolic. But from April to about August, things just were dumping down. You know, Bitcoin went all the way down to sub 50K, and these altcoins took like 50% haircuts. So my 50,000 went down to, you know, I think I was down to like 24,000 in July and August. And I was just so focused, so hyper fixated on crypto. You know, I said I have a cash flowing business, so I didn't really need to work. So I was just really focused on learning the ins and outs of the industry. I was on, you know, crypto, Twitter, X nonstop. And I really was spending way too much time and focus and energy on this. And when I saw it dumping down, I'm like, what's going on? You know, and I had faith. I knew that it was going to go back up, and that's what it's been doing. You know, ever since Trump got elected, things have been really going up. But ironically, that's when I started to make my mistakes. So for, you know, 6 months from April to November, I was just putting so much time and energy into crypto. It really wasn't going anywhere. So I was getting impatient. I was getting very frustrated about my investment because I had figured, you know, I'll put my money into crypto for this 6-month lease that I have. And then
All right, let's see what's here.
I started to put more and more money into meme coins, and
Okay.
I went from about 45,000 I had at that time down to 13,000. I was getting really stressed out, and I was spending so much more time and energy. You know, I was having these like panic attacks and anxiety because I was watching just my nest egg fluctuate so heavily now. I was staying up all night trading different meme coins, looking at decks, looking at the X communities, and it was really, really bad for my health. I started to notice I was getting sleep deprived. And anyways, I turned the 13 back into 43. And
Okay.
I was like, oh my gosh, you know, this is great. I got most of my money back. Now, if I could just make back a little bit more to what I had. And at that point, I had actually, sorry, this story's all over the place. There's so many details. I had gotten another big check in July or August or September. And I decided to put that into crypto as well. Another like $10,000. So I was at most I had about 65K. And I was like, if I can get back to, you know, 60K, I'll then go put it back into these altcoins that I had for 6 months, watching them go up and down, mainly down. And then I'll just ride out the next 2 months of this bull market that's happening. And of course, now it's happening hard. And that was my mistake. Was
Plan.
I said, okay, I'll only take 30K. I'll hold 30K in Solana. It won't do anything. It'll go up a little bit because it's a solid coin. And then I'll let the 10,000 ride out. And in this meme mustard, I don't know if you've seen the trend of Kendrick Lamar's new song where he's like singing mustard.
Nope.
Anyways,
haven't
that's
seen
the
it.
coin that got me my 3x from 13 back to 43. So I was like, I'll let this 10K ride out. And that meme started to drop off. The coin wasn't doing too well. So it started going down. And ultimately, I made a shitty decision to get into a different coin and just go all in, take my $30,000 and put it into this coin that was a $5 million market cap. It just got created like 2 days ago. So risky
Wow.
and stupid. And I went to bed. The next day I wake up and it's back to like 10, hour later, 5, few hours later, 2K. And
Oh, my
that's when things
days.
just started to really set in. Like, holy shit, I'm not going to be able to turn 2,000 back into 50,000. And that's it. This is the end of it, you know?
No
now-
way, man. Guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Has this happened to you? I've had something like this similar happen to me before. If you want me to tell the story, I could tell it to you guys on another video.
Over the past few weeks, I've been having to basically, you know, lick my wounds a little bit, cope with all this, because what's happened is, of course, the bull run has taken off. You know, I was so patient for 6 months, and I made this mistake at the worst possible time when Bitcoin broke again, new all-time highs. These altcoins are making 50, 100%, 200% gains. And ironically, right when I converted a lot of those into Solana and then into the meme coins, you know, I had a coin that I held for 6 months. I sold it. The next day, it does a 50% return. You know, it stings. And that's what's happening right now, is just a lot of like, wow, you know, that 65, if I just would have let it sit, it would have been closer to $100,000 now. And that would have gotten me closer to my goal of being able to buy a house. But ultimately, you know, it's going to be a big lesson.
Hold
That's
on,
sad,
take a look
man.
at this.
Honestly speaking.
Think you
Let's
can tell
skip
what's
this
real
bad
anymore?
boy. Shush.
Hold on, take.
Bruv, what is
All
wrong
right,
with this?
where do I start? It's a lot of like, wow,
Okay.
you know, that 65, if I just would have let it sit, it would have
would've
been
r-
closer to $100,000 now. And that would have gotten me closer to my goal of being able to buy a house. But ultimately, you know, it's going to be a big lesson. I really was getting way too fixated. I wasn't working on my business much. I wasn't creating. I wasn't building anything. I was just trying to multiply my money. And
I feel for him.
crypto is not good or bad. You know, I've lost a lot of money in it. I'm
And I've made
learning
the
a
money.
lot. I'll still definitely be getting into crypto again next cycle in a few years. But it was
Different strategy.
definitely taking over my life in a really bad way. And especially at the end when I was trading these meme coins and having these little panic attacks of just like really not taking care of myself at all and trying to chase, you know, and I've learned that it's not, why try and chase a 3, 4, 5x, 10x when it's so much more risky. You know, I could have put all my money into Bitcoin, just gotten a 2x, gotten 100% return off of $60,000, and there we go. I've got $120,000, you know. And that's definitely something I learned, was that why chase bigger returns that are more risky? Just play it more conservatively. But that's the brainwashing that kind of the crypto community
goes
has,
on.
is that, you know, don't go into Bitcoin. You're only going to make a 2 or 3x at most. And in any other money market, stocks, a 2 or 3x on your money in a year is insane. So it's just funny how you can get brainwashed into being greedy and wanting more and more. And seeing other coins go up and yours are just not doing anything, and not having more patience. I think I just really should have had more patience and just let it play out. I got my mom and brother into crypto as well back in May and a little bit around May. And, they just have been going on with their lives. They've putting a little bit of some loose change in there, a few $1,000s, and now they're up, a good a few $1,000s on their investments because they just let it sit and focused on other things in their lives. When for me, I just let crypto become my entire life, which was my mistake.
I get you. It happened to me as well.
So yeah, we're going to learn a pretty big lesson on this, and I just want...
Guys, the same thing happened to me. Let's see what the comment section is saying. The worst feeling in the world is when you hold the coin for 2 to 3 months, it doesn't do anything, and that moment you sell, and then the next day it goes up by 5x or sometimes even 10x. It's like the universe is against you. At that point, goodness me, he's not lying. I'm telling you guys, it's happened to me before. What I would say is right now, wait. Okay, wait for Bitcoin to go down. I remember I bought in at 57k. It dropped to 57k, and that's when we went in. So I'll say just wait it out. Play the long game. Okay, do what Tesla done several years back. They bought in for $1 billion using $1 billion dollars, and then they 1x'd. It turned into $1 billion, and then they took out their returns. 1x, all you need. You guys are using a baby shovel. If you change your shovel size, aka the amounts you're playing with, you'll be happy with 1x. You'll be happy with 50%, not even 1x. You'll be happy with 50% return. You see? But when you're using a smaller shovel, that's when you're looking for those riskier bets. I'm looking for a 10x. If only I can get a 10x. Think, if you get a 10x right now, could it solidify a certain attitude you might not want to have as to someone who has a lot of money? Meaning, let's say you get a 10x and you end up making $1 million. Do you think when you arrive at $1 million, you won't be thinking, I'm sure I could turn this into 10 mil if I just find a 10x again, put $1 million in? Okay, maybe not $1 million, that's too much. I'm not stupid. Put 500k in, and then down the drain, you lose 500k, and you're like all depressed and stuff. Share this to someone who needs it. Like, subscribe, and link in the description is for Patreon videos I don't post on here. God bless you all.